Less than 2 weeks ago, the United States government released Volume 2 of the Fourth National Climate Assessment. We here at Weather World feel it's important for us to look at this report. But before we dissect it for you, we want to dive into the nearly 30-year history behind it. The National Climate Assessment stems from an executive action made in 1989 by then-President George H.W. Bush called the Global Change Research Program.
So the United States will continue its efforts to improve our understanding of climate change, to seek hard data, accurate models, and new ways to improve the science and determine how best to meet these tremendous challenges.
This program led to the Global Change Research Act. It was passed by the House and Senate and signed into law by President Bush on November 16, 1990. This law requires 13 government agencies to collaborate and to report to Congress and the President on the state of the climate and its impacts on the country. It took 10 years for the first National Climate Assessment, or NCA, to be published. It was entitled Climate Change Impacts on the United States: The Potential Consequences of Climate Variability and Change. This report broke down climate impacts on regions and discussed the role humans played in it. The second NCA was released 9 years later. This contained similar research findings to the first assessment, but it also included ways to respond to changes using mitigation and adaptation. The third assessment was published in 2014 and contained reports from over 300 researchers who work in state and federal governments, academia, and the private sector. It broke down the impacts of climate change into 7 sectors: human health, water, energy, transportation, agriculture, forests, and ecosystems. Volume 1 of the Fourth National Climate Assessment was released 13 months ago. It is entitled Climate Science Special Report and stated that, quote, human activities, especially emissions of greenhouse gases, are the dominant cause of the observed warming since the mid-20th century. It also gave a detailed report of advances in scientific understanding since the release of NCA 3. Volume 2 of the fourth NCA is entitled Impacts, Risks, and Adaptation in the United States. It was released the day after Thanksgiving. We will delve into the report in the coming weeks here on Weather World, including potential impacts from climate change here in the Mid-Atlantic states. We'll be back in a moment with the extended forecast.